this is Chris from Overclockersclub. We've got something a little different today. Instead of the usual case or CPU cooler that I usually review, we've got a security camera here from Reolink. This is the RLC 411WS. This is actually the second one I bought. I bought one a few months ago and was so impressed with it I decided to do a review on it, and I actually bought a second one. So we'll get it out of the box and see what's inside. Well, I want to say I spent a lot of time looking at a lot of different cameras when I was initially wanting to look at a home security system. And there are a lot of cameras out there to look at, and it was really hard to make a decision. But time and time again, as I compared the various specs, this particular camera always came out on top. So we'll go through the contents of the box. First, we've got an Ethernet cable, which is very important. We'll talk about that here in a moment. We've got two antennas that can swivel and rotate. We've got a very long, 60 feet approximately, a very generously long power cord so that you don't have to be right on top of an electrical outlet. Now this is a Wi-Fi camera. It is not PoE, which is power over Ethernet. That's a different type of camera. Also, we've got a little CD with some information on it, some installation information. We have a small little startup manual and then a couple of templates for where you screw this into wherever you're going to mount it. Small bag of hardware with some wall anchors and a little Allen wrench, along with some screws, and then the camera itself. And then in the bottom, underneath the packing, we have the power adapter. So the camera itself is a bullet style camera. At the front here, we actually have 36 LEDs, which are for your infrared LEDs for your night vision. You'll see that it does have some very good night vision capabilities. We have a daylight sensor. This does have a focus capability that you can mechanically adjust through the software, through the app. So a lot of cameras are fixed focus. This one here actually has the ability to do that. And it is a 4 megapixel camera. We do have the ability to mount this thing in different positions, and then you install the antennas and then the cable. Here we've got a little reset button if you need to reset the camera. We have an Ethernet port here, and then we have the power port. Now wherever you mount this, of course, you don't need ultimately to use the Ethernet cable because it is Wi-Fi, but you will need to have access to power. Now I want to talk about some of the features, and they are listed right here conveniently on the side panel to the box. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it is a 4 megapixel camera. The resolution is 2560 by 1440. It does have the autofocus capability, and it is a day-night camera, so your night vision is up to about 100 feet, which is about 30 meters. The Wi-Fi frequency, you do have a dual band, 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz, so you have that capability. It has a 16 gigabyte built-in SD card for recording your motion events, so you don't have to worry about paying for a cloud service or anything like that. All of your video is stored right here on the camera, and then you can access it later through the app. Now the first thing you do when you install this camera is you install the app onto your phone, and then there's a code here that you scan with your phone, and it will automatically enter the camera information into the app, and then you put your wireless password in for your router, and you're pretty much good to go. Now I've been using this camera now for several months. Earlier this year I purchased the first one, and I have to say I've been nothing but totally impressed with it. I have not had any issues at all with connectivity. 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz. Of course, the 2.4 gigahertz, you're going to get a much longer signal range capability. The 5 gigahertz will transfer data faster. You have more bandwidth, but the 5 gigahertz doesn't have the wall penetrating capability that your 2.4 has. So if you have an outside wall that's brick or concrete or aluminum siding, you may lose a little bit of signal there, and you may want to use the 2.4 gigahertz signal. Now, in the amount of time I've used it, it does take a little bit of time to set up as far as getting the motion detection to work optimally, because you have a lot of things that the camera really can't tell the difference, and it's not the camera's fault, it's just the way the software is, and you're going to find that really with any motion camera that uses software for pixel detection or pixel comparison, because it doesn't know the difference between shadows, tree movement, birds flying by, rain, snow, other sort of weather events, things like that. So you'll have to play with the sensitivity and the adjustment there, and that takes a little while, but once you get it tweaked in, it works pretty well. Now if you're using this camera inside of a building or an enclosure, you can eliminate the factors of weather, tree motion, things like that. So you'll probably have a little easier time setting it up if it's used inside of a building. Again, I've used this camera for several months. All I have is positive things to say about it. No problems at all. I liked it so much I went ahead and bought a second one. So, this is Chris with Overclockers Club, and thanks for watching.